Hello and welcome to the Future Gaming Podcast in association with Future Gaming Network. I'll be your host, Joshua Clement, aka Needy, and now we're going to explain to what this show is about. The show is about the future of gaming. We want to focus on the major titles and what's coming out on Xbox and PC. But we also understand that there's a place for PS4. We have to include some of the major titles that are coming out, but we are mainly going to focus on Xbox and PC. We're all Xbox fans. PCs, most of us own a high-end PC here. But just to break it down for you guys, we're going to give you previews of these games. By previews, none of us have actually gone through and played the games, but we have researched them in depth. We've gone through and done all this research for you, so you don't have to go through because we know you're busy. We know you're doing other things, so we're going to do it for you, and you can come listen to us here at www.podomatic.com/Future Gaming Podcast, and we will also be on iTunes relatively short. We should be on there pretty soon. It all depends on iTunes and all that stuff. But without further ado, we're going to introduce the cast here behind me. Introducing first, we have the squishiest tank you'll ever find, Zach Holbrook. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, it was good. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. What games have you been playing recently, dude?
I've been playing a lot of Pokemon, Black and White 2, getting amped up for X and Y coming out, playing Borderlands 2. They're going to be dropping more stuff on that end. League of Legends almost every day. NHL 14, now that it's out too, I'm really excited about that game. Other than that, it's just been the same old, same old.
So nothing unusual for you. And now, introducing my second member of my cast, we've got Jessica Miller. How's it going?
It's going.
It's always going with you. What games have you been playing?
This past week, I've been playing a lot of Gary's Mod. It's a good stress reliever, attacking those pigeons with crowbars. And Age of Empires 2.
Nice. And introducing the third and final member of this podcast, we have the most definitely censored Austin Galushka.
Hey, guys.
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. Got started off great. PS4. Boom.
Yeah, we're going to bleep that out later.
Sorry. Doing research for this topic that we're going to discuss today really renewed my hatred for the Sony fanboy.
Oh, God, I can't wait. All right, what games have you been playing, dude?
The one I tell everyone to get right now, GTA 5. Still the best game I've ever touched. If you want to cry over, oh, the server doesn't work. Wait, please be quiet. Just wait. It's the biggest game of all time. Let Rockstar, they know what they're doing. Give them a chance, let them fix it, and then go on and play with your friends. And besides that, I'd say League of Legends. That's something I've been playing pretty well. Go Vi, my favorite character. And just been pretty much getting amped up for ESO. ESO is probably my big game to watch for the year.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. All right, and without further ado, we're going to get right into our first segment here, talking about the DRM of the Xbox and PS4. But what can we say about the PS4? Well, they don't have DRM. It's the same thing as the PS3, so everything you're used to is still there. And frankly, we're sick and tired of these PS3 fanboys just sticking their heads out on every single forum imaginable. How about that?
It's what they want to do. They don't like Microsoft at all. They think Microsoft's there to destroy the gaming market, and it's not. Microsoft, with their DRM policies, you know what? They were there to change things, and not a lot of people like change, so guess what? Have fun with Xbox 360 version 2.0, but hey, I'm still going to buy it. It's still got better games, still has better exclusives, and you know what? It's a little bit faster than the PS4, and also Xbox Live, it's a lot better than your little Sony internet thing you got going that's going to get hacked again and people are going to lose all their information, so.
Yeah, don't want anything like that happening on Xbox. Austin, I'm going to mainly talk to you about this Xbox DRM. Basically, we're going to go through and we're going to clean up all this crap that's mixed in with the Xbox right now because we know we've got a lot of to go through. Basically, we're going to give you a rundown of DRM, what's included, what's actually not included, what they've changed, what they haven't changed, what's still the same, because Xbox, I'll admit, has been really sketchy about this. They've flip-flopped, but you know what? I have to go with this. They're adjusting to what the people want.
Yeah.
And by people, I do mean the PS3 fanboys that are currently on every forum so Microsoft is not actually hearing from true fans.
Yeah, kind of. Yes and no. There are some fans.
There are some. I'm not going to speak like, oh, everybody's against this and, oh, everybody's for this. In general, it's just become a riot on every single Xbox Microsoft forum.
Yeah.
It's to the point where it actually, like, it kind of disturbs me that this is happening. So go out, take back your forums, Xbox fans.
I know, how dare a console try and do exactly what Steam does right now? Whoa. That's a shocking premise to put in your little pipe and smoke there, PS4 fanboys.
Oh, God.
No.
You're on fire today, dude. You're upset.
They annoy me. I read articles that were just discussing the DRM policies like when they first came out, so back when the frantic just flood of people online was crazy and really, really just absurd. And they're just like, well, look at Xbox has nothing. PS4's beating it in specs. They have free games and everything. It's like, and I think one of the most hated things about Sony right now is that first commercial they put out when sharing games with your friends. Here you go. And he handed them a copy of a game. Like that, you know what?
I will admit that was just right on the money, and it got everybody pissed off.
Here's my issue.
Entire E3 press.
They didn't put any truth behind a lot of the things that went out. Like, I understand a lot of people's issues with DRM. Like, what if you live down a rural area and you lost internet connection for a day? You missed that 24-hour check and your Xbox locked you out of your games. That's a bad thing. I understand, but you know what? You have to take the good with the bad. In an industry that's moving forward, you can't always just go, oh, well, look, there's one bad thing. Yes, there's one bad thing, but there's 5 more good things. There's always going to be growing pains. Steam in the beginning was hated, had a lot of growing pains. Now, guess what? Steam has its own console coming out. People love Steam. Why do people love Steam? Because the games are cheap. They can do sales. They can do direct actions with publishers. And you know what? That's what Xbox One's DRM policy was establishing to do on a console. It was there to help lower the price of games. I understand people really love how GameStop sells games, but you know what? It doesn't really do anything for the publishers, and the publishers are the ones that we really need to get money in the end, not places like GameStop or EB Games.
Absolutely. All right. Changing topics, not really. We're going to go through the list here of what is actually included into the Xbox One. The DRM here, we've got, all right, starting from the top, it used to be that you always had to be online. That was started by one of the game directors over at Microsoft. They have since then not made it online only. It no longer requires a 24-hour check-in. Instead, Xbox One only online feature is when you first hook it up. So when you first hook it up, it downloads an update, and then you never have to hook it up to internet again. Second, with the Kinect no longer requires it to be plugged in 24/7 for the console to work. The console will work separately from Kinect. It is included. I promise you it's a great product. Austin, I know you've used Kinect in the past.
Yeah, I like the original Kinect. I had a smaller room when I had the original Kinect, and I actually had the magnifying glass from, I believe it was Nikon, and it worked. I liked it. I had a little brother. Me and him could play games. There was Dance Dance. There was a Kinect Adventures. I even used the UFC training feature on it. You know, there were good games. There were okay games. It wasn't their games really didn't expand on the functions that much, but if you look at what Xbox One is doing with Kinect, they're really expanding on the software, and game developers are also expanding on the software. So this fantastic product that everyone's going to hate because, oh no, all it's doing is raising the price of my Xbox One, it's going to have a purpose. Just actually look. There's games that are going to put little knickknacks in their games that only work if you have a Kinect connected to the system. Also, people need to realize the Xbox One, it's not just a gaming console. It is an entertainment system, people. Don't think, well, I just want to play video games. You want to play video games? Join our side and go get a nice PC. Play games on Ultra. You don't have to worry about anything. But Xbox One, they're looking at an entertainment system, something in the living room. That's why they made the big NFL deal. So you know what? Trust me, the Kinect is going to have a purpose on this one, and there's going to be software specifically for it that's actually going to be good, and everyone's going to enjoy it.
I'm certainly going to enjoy it. That NFL thing looks amazing.
Fantasy football is the new online poker. It is. Everyone's doing it. So you know what? I think it's a huge contract that the NFL and Xbox One, well, Microsoft signed, and it's only going to benefit both parties. So you know what? Hey, whatever you can do to make more money, that's all you got to do.
All right, to continue down the list, the family plan that was originally included with the Xbox One. Now, this would be the thing where if you had certain number of people on a console, your entire family could use those games. So when you downloaded it from Xbox Marketplace or you installed it from a disc, your entire family gained access. Up to 10 people, I think it was?
Yep, up to 10 people, correct.
This was one of the products that was lost because of the bitching on the forums.
Yep.
It honestly was a great plan.
Steam's doing it now. Now, except the way...
Steam just came out with their new product that is the exact same thing. It is amazing.
No, it's not. Actually,
I like
it. Well, here's my issue with Xbox. Well, here's my issue with Steam's version. We both have a Steam account. Let's say you have... Well, actually, it's true. You have Civilization 5. I don't. Let's say I want to play Civilization 5. You can lend it to me. However, as soon as you log on to Steam, guess what happens? Oh, I get a notice saying I have 5 minutes to save my progress and then quit the game because it's going back to your account and I cannot use it. Okay, so that's useless. So I have to hope you don't come on. So basically, you're loaning me a game and then I have to tell you, please don't log on to Steam today because I want to play the game. While with Xbox One, I understand, not all the information was made public about the family sharing plan.
Yeah, but with that, too, they also did want to include, you can lend this game out, and even if the other person comes on, as long as you're not playing that game, that person can still borrow.
Correct. However, one thing, though, was they say you can share a game up to 10 people. However, since it got canceled so early, they didn't know necessarily how it was going to be done, if you were going to, have your own code, or what's where to say happen if me and you took a game from Jess, and would only one of us be able to play it at a time? But guess what? It doesn't matter now. It got nicked, so.
Yep. Again, it's not included with the Xbox One. However, what did come out of this, a little gem in the pool of crap that surrounds this topic. We have used game sales. You can buy them just like you do now. You can continue to use GameStop to turn them in for money.
I'm sorry, I disagree. It's not a gem. It's not a gem. Literally right before we started coming on, me and Jess got into a discussion about Half-Life 3. Half-Life 3 just got announced. Valve is a huge publisher, and you know what? Where do they get all their money from? Game sales. What does used games not do? Put money back into the pockets of publishers, or of the companies. So, put it this way, when we go and buy a game, we pay $60. A percentage of that goes to Microsoft. A percentage of that goes to GameStop, and then finally a percentage of that goes to the developing companies. Well, I'm sorry, I liked with the DRM policy, more money was going back to the companies, less money was going to Microsoft, and less money was going to GameStop. You know what? I love going to GameStop, but if I can give the companies who are making games I love more money, guess what that means? That means that they can go develop better games. They can hire more people. They can invent new technology. Guess what? Giving these companies more money only is going to allow them to make better and bigger games, while giving GameStop more money is only going to line their pockets and allow the CEOs and executives to make more money. Because guess what? GameStop, They aren't making any of the games. All they're doing is publishing and selling and buying and trading. I'm sorry, but I hate the whole DRM policy. When they first did it, I like what it does. Even though I use GameStop myself, I just don't like what they do to the companies by keep 100% of the profits on the resale. It's not right.
Yeah, I got you all fired up tonight.
No, you do. It's just, I'm sorry, the DRM policy was amazing. Guess what?
Yeah, it was pretty
Guess
good.
what? I always have an internet connection, though, so I kind of have a bias towards it, so.
Yeah, you don't live in a farm. Continuing on, we've got no regional restrictions. This came out of this. We've also got the game library was scrapped. This would be where you have your entire library on you to your gamer tag the whole time. Now, if you went somewhere, brought your gamer tag with you, you could download that game still through Xbox Live, and you would be able to play it wherever you went. You would take your gamer tag with you, just like you do now, but instead you take all the games with you. Even if you bought the game on a disc, the game was sent to your account. It is linked with your account, but again, this is no longer the case. Discs will work just like they do on the 360.
It's a physical DRM policy. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and that's all we have for this. Austin, do you have anything else to add?
I don't know if I wanted to add anything. I would say hopefully people will come to realize what the DRM policy actually was meant to do. They don't just look at the bad things and the things that could have went wrong. They start looking like where Xbox and Microsoft are trying to push the industry. I understand PS4 is staying to the tried and true methods. That's how you make money. That's how you survive. But you know what, though? Eventually, you need to start moving towards the digital field.
And then you slowly become Nintendo. Anyway.
Oh, God, no. Please don't.
Oh. All right. Now we're going to move on to our next segment. We just wanted to get that out of the way really quick, clear everything out of the air, so we got a place to start from. And now we're going to move on to talking about Pokemon X and Y. I hope you guys like it. All right, and now welcome to our first segment. For our first show, we're going to do Pokemon X and Y for Nintendo 3DS and 2DS. Now, I'm going to hand it over to our resident Pokemon expert, logging over 1,600 hours into Pokemon, because he's just that lovable. Zach, what do you got for me here, bud?
This is the first dedicated game for the 3DS, Pokemon X and Y. It's going to be solid. I mean, based off of what I see, the level of complexity in the animation in this game is phenomenal. It's taking the Pokemon battle simulation to new levels. I mean, the only game that I can consider having this level of sophistication with the battling is the N64 and GameCube versions of the Pokemon games, which obviously had way more computing or power to their advantage. I mean, with the 3DS, you're going to see a lot more detail, a lot more complex interactions between the Pokemon. I mean, it's taking things that have been tried and true for the last 15 years and just kicking it up like 2 levels. It's phenomenal. I mean, there's so many new things in the game that we're going to have to go through one by one and discuss it. I think we should start with the fact that this is the first time since Pokemon Gold and Silver that they've introduced a new type to the Pokemon world. They've added Fairy type this time, which
Fairies!
Yeah, fairies. This is going to add a lot of balance to the game because up till now, dragons have primarily dominated any sort of competitive play in Pokemon. And with the addition of fairies, you're going to see a lot more balance since they're strong against dragons, dark, and they also have an advantage over, or they have a disadvantage. They've got very few disadvantages. They're strong against fighting, dark, and dragons, and they're only weak against poison and you know what? I can't remember the other one. Give me a second. I'll look it up. But we'll move on from there. The other thing that I want to touch on is Mega Evolutions. It's going to be a huge new part of the game. At the start of the game, you're going to be handed your regular starter, as you would normally get, but then you would also get one of the original starters from the first game, Red and Blue. You'd get Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander as well.
No, that's not true. Basically, you get a Charmander.
No, you can get, well, okay, fair enough. You're going to get Charmander.
Who picks a Squirtle or who picks... No,
I pick a Squirtle. I want that Blastoise,
Have
man.
you seen the Blastoise? It's so sick.
Hold on, question. Who would Jess pick? I want to see who would Jess pick.
I'm gonna pick Bulbasaur.
Better not say Bulbasaur.
I've always been a Squirtle fan. I'm not gonna lie. Squirtle, I was attracted to it.
Can I give my Squirtle some black sunglasses and make him look like a boss?
Yes.
I wish.
Dude, that would be amazing.
Well, don't they have custom avatars?
That's for your character.
Isn't there, like, accessories for your Pokemon, too?
And I'm not using that particular part.
No, you can't put sunglasses on your Squirtle, folks. I'm sorry.
The accessories you're talking about are more for like the pageantry competitions that were made really popular in the TV series, and then they put into the games to kind of give little.
Yeah, that was in like Sapphire and Ruby, right, where they started doing the the talent shows or whatever for your Pokemon.
Yeah, that's when it started. It's a good idea. It's a change of pace in the game.
It's stupid pet tricks for your Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. And as long as you have a legendary, you're going to win.
Oh my God! All right. So before we get into all this, I want to go through all of our Pokemon expertise. Zach, we've been through you already. Jess, what's your background with Pokemon? Have you ever watched the TV show?
I have. I can't say that I'm caught up with every single episode. But, you know, as a kid, that's just something that I watched. I can't say that it, passed the 12th year of my life, but
you're going to get a lot of hate
I'm going to get a lot of hate mail. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not hating on it. I feel like I can get into it if I had the time, but...
You got other things like Dead Rising
yeah,
to
I
focus
have zombies
on right
to kill.
now.
Zombie, yeah. Gotta save the world.
And Jessica, a resident zombie hunter. All right, Austin, what's your background with Pokemon? Which ones have you played and which ones haven't you?
I would say I've pretty much played them pretty consistently, right from Fire Red all the way through. I would say probably the last one I played was Diamond. The only reason I didn't play Pokemon X and Y and X and Y 2 is because I didn't have a DA.
Don't you mean Black
You're
and White?
meaning Black and White.
No, sorry, yeah, Black and White. Yeah, and then Black and White 2. The only reason I didn't play those is because I didn't see a need to buy a DS or a 3DS because, well, I'm sorry, I don't feel like spending that type of money to play one game.
And Zach is here to change your mind today.
No. Pokemon X and Y, though, that's a whole nother thing because this, like Zach said, this is the first game that's solely dedicated for the 3DS. I'm sorry, but if you start doing games like Fire Emblem, I'm sorry, I love Mario Kart. I have a soft spot in my heart for Mario Kart. If you start doing dedicated games like that for the 3DS, I won't lie, I'll gladly go pick a 3DS up because then that is a good lineup of games. But before, it was okay games, nothing special.
Yeah, I'm actually looking to sell my Vita for the Nintendo 3DS now just because of this.
You know what sucks about the Vita? The Vita's amazing. It's so good
Sony?
It is really good. The PS Vita, it's really good. What am I playing right now? I've got FIFA. I've been playing the whole Jak and Dexter series, which is amazing. And I've been playing Corpse Party and Corpse Party 2. And I gotta admit, Corpse Party is freaking crazy, man. So much death.
But here's the issue, though, with it. There's no games for it, and it's so bad. It's sad.
Yeah, it's disappointing. They're not putting out a lineup for it. But you gotta guess. With the PS4 coming out, there's going to be a lot of games that are going to start running on both the PS Vita and the PS4.
Yeah, because
they're going to be two. The PS Vita is going to become the Kinect that's not included.
Wasn't
for the
wasn't the whole process behind like the PS Vita the ability to let's say you're playing Madden, you're playing Vita or FIFA at home, and you got to leave, you can just switch right over to the Vita and then play as you go?
Yes.
I thought so. See, I'm not going to lie. If I could do that with Pokemon X and Y, I thought that'd be... You know how amazing that would be?
What, with the Wii U?
Exactly. Oh, my God. The Wii U actually...
Oh, my God. We found a use for the Wii U.
Wow, we almost brought that back to the original topic. Good job, guys.
Zach, question. How many here played the original Pokemon games in, N64?
That would be me.
Did. I played Pokemon Coliseum, I want to say it was called.
Coliseum and Stadium.
No, just imagine.
It may have been Stadium. It was whichever one had you picked like 3 Pokemon and you threw them against each other.
That sounded like Stadium.
Yeah, it was probably Stadium.
No, I'm not gonna lie. The Wii U doesn't really. It's a party. It's a party system. If you have like 6 friends who can play, it's amazing.
Wait, it's a system?
Yeah, it is a system.
When does it come out, Austin? Tell me.
I don't care. I'm not a Nintendo guy.
It's already out.
Yeah, it's already out. But I'm not gonna lie. If like we could all get together with our 3DSs and then like connect it through the game and then have the tablet and just be like he can pick who fights who and they just kind of like have a party option. Guess what? The Wii U has a purpose only because of Pokemon, and I would think about going and getting one.
How much is it now? Best $400 ever spent for Pokemon.
It's $400? Oh,
I have no idea, honestly. I'm sorry, the Wii U is not a console. It's not next gen. Don't get your hopes up. The future Nintendo next gen console is coming out in 3 years, and it's gonna put everything on par.
Zach, I'm gonna ask you. You probably don't even know because it's just never been discussed. Why did they never fully just bring the Pokemon games to consoles?
You know what? They've tried in the past, but they never really overdeveloped it because it's always traditionally been a handheld game, something you can play on the toilet.
Which I'm sure you've logged over 1,600 hours, 1,500 being that on the toilet.
On the toilet, yes. But no, I never really understood why they never did. I mean, all the games that I remember that they put onto major consoles, I mean, apart from the GameCube, which was a cool system at the time, but kind of faded into obscurity after the Xbox came out. I think that the N64 had a lot of success with the Pokemon games, but then Nintendo sort of lost interest with it. I mean, do you guys remember Coliseum? Do you guys remember Stadium? How about Pokemon Snap?
Hold on. Do not dare talk bad about Pokemon Snap.
No, I'm not. I'm saying those were good games. Because they were all friends.
My heart just dropped. I thought you were talking bad about a childhood memory.
Oh, absolutely not. I can beat through Pokemon Snap in like 2 hours. I've played it that many times.
That game was... I loved it. Loved that game.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Same.
Let me go through what games I've played. I've played my first Pokemon game I got on my 7th birthday, and that was Pokemon Yellow, where the Pikachu followed you, and he was my best friend, and we traveled the Kanto region for hours, and it was amazing, and he was my best friend through 3rd grade. Yeah, that's what happened.
You had a lot of friends when you were little, huh?
My right hand, when I learned how to do that, he was a good friend for me. No, but other than that, I've gone back. I've played Red, Blue, yada, 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 and I've played Sapphire and Ruby a lot. Played Silver, I think, once when I was a kid.
Silver was by far my best experience playing.
I remember it being really long, because it had, 16 badges, as opposed to the normal 8, right?
Yeah, how about the reboot with Soul Silver making everything like 14,000 hours long?
If I needed a 3DS, I would have gotten it.
How about a regular DS?
Yeah, no,
I didn't have one of those either.
Well, yeah, because remember back then, what games, I don't know, I think besides Pokemon, there's a couple games that are good for the DS and, the handheld community from Nintendo, but I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time when I've ever seen a game be previewed, I'm like, oh my god, I might have to go buy a new Nintendo product just to play this game whenever I'm bored, because...
But that's what it's been for me for every Nintendo, because it's like, oh, the new Game Boy Advanced SP, now with Pokemon Sapphire, and I'm like, yes, must get it.
I remember, I loved SP. Oh, it has a backlight. Backlight.
I can play in my bed at night. My parents will never know.
Yep, exactly.
I actually had some interesting problems with that. I'm going to get into a little tangent here. My first SP, you know how it opens and closes just like the 3DS does? I accidentally was coming out of Tops shopping with my mom when I was a kid. I set it down on the bumper of the trunk. As we closed the trunk, it smashed the screen, and my first DS, I was torn apart.
Oh.
I couldn't play Pokemon with my brother for a frickin' month.
Oh.
It was a depressing time for me. But other than that, let's start getting into the actual preview here. So I don't want to do a new segment again, because that was the most epic of tangents we've ever had.
You had to bring up the Vita, didn't you?
I did. I tried to stop myself.
I'm sorry, but you have to compare. You have to.
Yeah, they're the only two handhelds on the market
Well, no,
now.
that's not true. They're the only good handhelds that we believe.
First topic of Pokemon X and Y.
Mega Evolutions.
First.
I'll say it.
No.
Yes.
Damn it, Austin.
Mega Evolutions.
Mega Evolutions. Go through. What do we got, Zach?
All right, Mega Evolutions. It seems like there's going to be Mega Evolutions for the original 3 starters, for Mewtwo, and then a handful of other Pokemon. At first glance, it appears that a lot of the Pokemon will have Mega Evolutions, but not all of them. I'm assuming it's going to be a lot of the 3rd level evolutions, and a lot of the Pokemon who don't evolve will have the option to do Mega Evolutions. Now it's going to be
and Pikachu. Pikachu probably will have.
You know what? I don't think so. I honestly don't.
You really think they're going to neglect everybody's best friend?
I think so. I think they're going to neglect him.
No, Pikachu, no.
Yeah. No.
So I just learned something. You actually have to be holding an item to activate Mega Evolutions.
Yeah, we saw that in the trailer. What is it, like a bracelet?
No, it's called it's a specific item called a Megastone.
The Megastones are going to be specific to the Pokemon, but the animation is going to involve the avatar of the player. They're going to have some sort of wristband on that's going to activate the Mega Evolution.
I got to admit, with this being the first Pokemon game in full 3D, I can't wait.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of research on this because my subject is DRM. I don't like the fact that some of the Mega Evolutions are release day specific events. I don't like that. I think that kind of takes away from it.
The only one that's really release specific is the Torchic that they're dropping with the release of the game. It's going to be open the day of the release, and then they're going to carry that through January, I think like January 15th. But a lot of the Mega Evolutions are going to come from events like the event Pokemon from before. I mean, there's certain Pokemon that you can only get through Nintendo when they release them through mystery gifts. I mean, there's going to be a lot of mystery gifts, I think, for this with the use of the Nintendo Wireless Network. Location specific, like your GameStop events, and they're also adding a 3rd feature for mystery gifts this year, and it's going to be serial codes that they're going to release to the public to attain mystery gifts, specifically that are encoded into the game. So I'm really looking forward to that because there's going to be a lot of options when it comes to Mega Evolutions, and I'm really excited. Now, the thing you have to remember is the Mega Evolutions aren't permanent, and you can only use them once per battle. So it's not going to be like once you Mega Evolve your Charizard, it's stuck like that forever, which I think is nice because I don't particularly like the look of the Mega Evolutions personally.
Except for Mega X Charizard.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. But
I'm sorry.
Mega X Charizard turns your Charizard blue, and he breathes blue fire, and it's amazing.
I'm sorry. I would love just to have a Mega Evolved Mewtwo and just one-shot everything you put on the field, and just be like, come at me, broski.
Well, also with the Mega Evolutions, isn't it slowly turning into, like, with the X and Y thing, is it slowly becoming gender-based? Because I know Mewtwo has 2 Mega Evolutions. One being one that looks very feminine and one that's very masculine. Is this going to be like that for everyone?
No, I think it's cool that they're finally making differences between the 2 Pokemon. Because in most games, it's like, well, I can't tell if this is a female or a male Pokemon. How do I know? Oh, you go into the Pokédex, you go into their info, and then you see. I think it'd be cool if you could finally see little differences in the aesthetics of the Pokemon to base them on gender. Like, I think it'd be cool if Mewtwo's form looks different or Charizard's form looks different based on their gender. I think it...
Yeah, because with that, I mean, in all previous Pokemon games, I know me and Zach do it. We're very sexist towards the way our Pokemon are.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You are not sexist. I'm sorry, but when I used to play Pokemon, I did it for fun. The way Zach plays Pokemon, he does it for competition. The way you do your Pokemon,
I just like being really good.
Yeah, exactly. You like to be very good. So the genders of Pokemon do matter. The stats that you gain when you capture Pokemon do matter. So it's
Do they really? I always just thought it was like really sexist for doing it.
Not at all. Not at all. You were actually doing like it's not like.
Thank you guys for giving me this excuse.
Exactly,
to
you're
be
not
sexist.
being sexist. It's just literally it's in-game coding. It's in-game mechanics. Certain Pokemon.
Jess,
are
I
stronger
apologize
others.
for this.
It's
I'm sorry.
You know, it's fine.
She's not a Pokemon fan, so she's like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna sit here and hope some zombies come out of nowhere so I can just kill them and be fine.
I just killed 2 of them right now.
Oh damn, never mind. Thank you.
I was gonna say, you're not talking really much. What are you playing, Left 4 Dead?
No, actual zombies are coming out of the basement and, you know,
Oh, God.
Oh, gauge
All
your
right,
baseball
break
bat,
out
Jeff.
that 12 gauge.
10 gauge.
10 gauge. That's even
Hot.
It's off my arm every time.
hot. Hot. All right. Now, next, Zach, I want to talk to you about this super Pokemon training that they're throwing in. Kind of looks like a mini game for Pokemon where you can train your Pokemon up like an Eevee train.
No,
What is this?
You're absolutely right. It's basically in-game simplification of the EV training process. What you're going to do is you're going to have mini games that are going to boost certain stats, whether it be, HP boost, attack boost, speed boost, but they're going to have mini games to help speed that process along. Because in the past, you'd have to, use in-game items to boost those stats, and then use
Macho Brace.
you got your macho braces, but you also have your proteins, your HP ups, your PP ups. But what's interesting about this game is they're going to give you an in-game option, and it's also going to be sort of a mini game, which I think is kind of smart on the part that they're still trying to cater to the younger generation of Pokemon players, while still giving us older players the option to kind of speed along the EV training process, so it's not like a 4-day project to get an EV trained Lucario ready to go. It's going to be a nice addition to the game. I think it's going to be a little time consuming. I think it's going to be a little childish to go through, but I think all in all the benefits outweigh the, I don't know,
Having to kill the same Pokemon over and
exactly.
over again.
It's going to speed up the process a lot. And I think that's going to be nice, especially for more seasoned players who are looking for a more competitive team, or somebody who's just trying to run through the game as fast as they can, and they just want their level 18 Charmander to beat over, or Charmeleon to beat over, the other guys,
Anything that can stop me from having to fight a Rattata 100 times a day, I'll take.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I hate killing off Pidgeys.
Oh my
Or
god.
Zubat.
Zubat. Oh my god.
Zubat, ooh, Zubat, yeah, Zubat, yeah.
Oh my god, that video was hysterical. If anybody wants to laugh their heads off, go on YouTube and watch Pokemon Rusty. I guarantee you will laugh your freaking skull off.
Headbutt, stud. Oh my
It's
god,
my
you killed my
destiny.
Rattata.
Yeah. What? Dad, it's my
It's my
destiny.
destiny.
Oh my god. So pause this audio podcast, go on, watch it, come back, you'll still
So
be
I think
laughing.
that should be something we do every week. Every week we plug a YouTube video that people
Plug a
should
YouTube
go
video?
watch.
I don't know, we did it in our pre-show.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
let's do that.
All right.
Alright, we'll do the, pause the video, go now. Here we go, we're back. And you're laughing. How funny was
it
that?
was pretty good potato.
Fantastic.
And he threw in the potato, find the potato, that's our new game. If you find the potato, you will win a something. We don't know what, but you'll win a Austin point.
You win
I don't know.
100 Austin points, redeemable at Austin's house if you ever find it. The NSA's been trying. Talk to them. I think they've got a lead.
Keep in mind he's censored, so anytime any information is leaked, he gets a little boop, and we're only... We are a very vulgar podcast, we understand this. We're only bleeping Austin.
Oh yeah.
For a specific reason. The NSA is looking for him for some unknown reason. We know why, you don't.
You know why? It's because I'm trying to make people believe that Pokemon X and Y is actually Digimon.
Derp.
You have no soul, sir.
I've seen that. I'm like, it's just Digimon now. I'm like, just shut up. No. It's a new movement of Pokemon, and it's good. Sorry, Digimon was bad. It was just bad. It was never Pokemon.
Digimon. Digital Monsters. All right, I'll stop.
I hated that show. That show is bad.
That show is good. All right, continuing on from our tangent-full podcast.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
So, Zach, I want to talk to you about the legendaries that are coming out. What are they? You know, we got one that looks like a stag, and we got another one that looks like a freaking bird with a hand for a tail. Tell me more about these things, man.
Alright, Xerneas is the stag guy. He's a fairy type. He's the first fairy legendary that we're going to have. I'm not sure how well they're going to stack him stat-wise. I don't know if he's going to be on the same level as, like, your Rayquazas or your Mewtwo's, like, power-wise, but I got a feeling that he's going to have a real advantage over his counterparty, Veltal, who's that flying bird guy. He's dark flying, fairy type strong against dark. It's going to be a very interesting game. I think the reason they did that is because people are so attracted to that dark flying bird thing. They're just going to be like, well, screw the deer. I don't care about the deer. I'm going to go get the big scary bird thing with the claw for a tail. So
and then the deer kicks it.
And then the deer messes it up. Yeah.
And you know what makes everybody sad? You can't use it in competition play. Well,
yeah, that's going to be another thing. I mean, competitive play is always so wishy-washy with how they stack their teams and what they allow. I mean, certain legendaries are allowed, but you're only allowed like one legendary per team. Blah blah blah. But I don't even.
Unless you're me and you just run Dragon Knights.
Oh my God, Dragon Knights cross the board.
Would you be able to get a friend who has, let's say you have Y and your friend is X, can you cross-trade the legendaries between each other so you can have both or no?
I'm not sure what you're talking about, like just trade them to the other game. I mean, that there's never been a real problem with that. I mean, one of you is going to end up with two, the other is going to end up with nothing, or you guys are just going to switch, but you're not going to be able to...
Or you just restart the game.
Oh, yeah, but I'm assuming you're going to already have put in like 12 hours of play before you get to these guys.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if the game ever stopped you from being able to like, cross-trade the legendaries. So, oh, look, I have both X and Y legendaries. Now you restart the game. Thank you. Voila.
No, they've never really done that before. They've never had a problem with trading the Pokemon over. I mean, the only thing you ever have to worry about is trading Pokemon too early when you don't have enough badges to make them listen to you, but at that point, who really cares?
Wasn't one of the big issues with the whole trading system before was like, I remember from, I think it was Diamond and Pearl when I was playing is, oh, hey, look, I want to trade this Pokemon. Well, do you have a level 1 Rayquaza? No, I don't. Oh, then I don't want to trade. Well, come on. Like, because people would just shark the games and they would add to make Pokemon, and that was a big issue I seen. So, like, that's why I was wondering is if they were finally going to try and institute something to stop people from just going on apps like our friend Mike does, creating a Pokemon with all the best stats, then gifting it to himself and being like, hey, why don't you play my...
Is that how he gets so good?
Yes! He has an app that makes Pokemon with Pokevirus the best stats, like the best way to level them up.
It's basically just an instant full EV trained Pokemon that's got all the right stats, all the right stats. It is really dumb. But, I mean, because he does that in 45 seconds, that takes me like 3 weeks of work. It's really sad.
Yeah.
And he can make his shiny just because he can.
That's what I meant was like, were they ever going to try and stop that, or they just kind of let it go?
With this game, they've instituted a lot of new like fail-safes. I mean, the Nintendo Wireless Network has been diligently trying to cut down on the use of hacked Pokemon. I mean, in their new system, the Pokemon Bank, they're actually making it almost fail-safe to prevent the use of hacked Pokemon in the bank, so you can't, just dump all your hacked Pokemon in the bank and then recover them in different consoles. So they're trying to neutralize hacked Pokemon in like the actual gameplay, which I think is a huge part of the game. I mean, to an extent, it's always cool to have that one Pokemon with the totally like whacked out stats. It's like, oh, by the way, here's my Rayquaza with 900 attack. And his defense is over 1,000, so even if you hit him, it's just not going to do anything, and then I'm going to extreme speed you.
Zach, I want to move on to the next topic, which is your social and your customizable avatars. For the first time in a Pokemon game, we're going to be able to actually become a trainer. We're not just going to pick the preset default and get stuck with boy or girl choice. We actually get to create our own avatar in this game. With that, the social interactions that are going to come from actual battling, what's going to happen with that? How does this all work together?
Well, one thing I've noticed with this game is that your avatar, the thing that you usually see in the beginning, I mean, your avatar is going to be far more customizable than it's ever been. I don't know if they're going to be able to go into as much detail as some of us would like, but there's going to be a lot of parts in the game, photo shoots. There's a new feature called the PR video. It's the public relation video. Basically, what's going to happen is when somebody online goes to see who you are, they're going to have some sort of short PR video. They'll have the option to look at it, and it's basically like a 6 to 10 second video that you'll get to edit in game. It's sort of like your Xbox avatar. You get to pick the camera angles that you choose, what shows up in the video. Your character will get to put a little text bubble saying something. It's an interesting change from what used to be the trainer cards, where you'd just be able to write something on the back of the card and other people would be able to see it. But this is a huge step up in the Pokemon world from where we were socially before. I mean, it's honestly, this game socially isn't like incredibly advanced further than we've ever been. I think that's to a point of privacy for the players, because if you're over customizing your players, if you're able to put too much in there, it runs a security risk for some of the kids. I think that's why they're trying to keep it a little more advanced, but still a little reserved on the part where you're not going to be giving out personal information or anything like that, which I think is important. But the customizable features, I think, especially since you're not just a little 64-bit character walking across the screen anymore, you're actually a 3D character in the world, and the world isn't just necessarily moving around you. I think that's a huge step up in the game.
Jess, we haven't heard much from you. What do you think about this? Have you ever wanted to become the Pokemon trainer like I have? I want to own another Pikachu, and I want a damn Bullpix.
I think everyone, no matter who it is, has that inner desire to become a master Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, those conversations in the lunchroom with Courtney, which 3 Pokemon, if you had them in real life, would you choose? Why can I only have 3?
You pick Celebi, first of all, because she can train.
Celebi's garbage, Lugia all the way, sir.
No, but here's the thing, though. With Celebi, though, Zach, Celebi's the one that can she can cross-jump between realms of reality, right?
Not necessarily reality, but time.
Or is it time?
She's a time traveler.
That's so cheap. That's cheating. I'll go back to before the battle happened.
Exactly. That's why I say Link would kick everybody's ass, because guess what? Ocarina of Time. Guess what? You're a baby. I have a sword. Die, you're dead. That's why I think Celebi was always a boss.
That's why I carry a Celebi with me. Oh, you're going back in time, Celebi. Let's follow him. And then we'll go back to when Link is a baby.
Oh my God.
And we'll just cut his left arm off so he can't swing a sword.
Would you kill baby Hitler?
No.
Of course you would kill baby Hitler.
No.
I mean, he only wanted some juice.
Oh, that was a horrible joke.
That was a good
I just
joke.
got that.
Zach, so you know what I think the best thing for Celebi would to be?
What's that?
I can skip these god-awful horde battles that they are instituting.
Oh my God. No, you know what? I don't necessarily hate the idea of horde battles, especially when you're trying to crash train your Pokemon. Because when you think about it, you're going to get XP for killing up to 5 Pokemon at a time. I think that's going to be actually kind of nice.
Oh no,
coming
5
from
Budews all appeared at the same time. Kill me.
Ooh, Zubat.
Zubat.
I fear the horde of Zubats, though, because all of them are going to be able to attack, and all of them are going to have Confuse Ray, and I'm going to be so mad. Or,
Yeah.
not sorry, Supersonic, not Confuse Ray.
I
but
think
it's the
he
same.
said punch myself in the face really hard. Yeah, that's right.
All right. All right, Blaziken, time to shine.
Explaining what that actually means. In the new game, instead of just walking through grass and killing that one Pokemon that jumps out at you.
Oh no, that's not true. Because what was it? Was it up to 3 before?
A while they only played 2. They only would send 2 out at a time.
Okay, 2. Okay.
Now you can have up to, 5? So now, you got attacked by a pack of 4 Houndooms. How do you feel? I only have a Caterpie.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling this game is going to be a lot more difficult.
The game itself isn't going to be terribly difficult. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a small learning curve to the new styles of play. I mean, between the horde encounters and that new thing, Sky Battles, where basically you can only fight with Pokemon that can float or fly. It's
Zubat. Ooh.
Zubat. But No, I think the learning curve is going to be small, but it's going to be manageable, especially for those younger gamers who, I don't know about you, but a lot of people who played Pokemon are in their mid-20s now, and they're popping out kids.
Oh, yes. Must hand it down.
That's absolutely. If I ever have a kid, the first thing I'm giving him is my Snorlax.
Oh, no, not the pride and joy.
That's my baby. I've had that since my 13th birthday. I turned 22 next
Are you kidding me? That's a mirror image of yourself, you
Ooh, that was kind of cold.
Hot.
Wait, man, I'm so sad. Self-esteem's out the window. I'm going to go cry.
Here's a question. What do you think about horde battles at early levels? Do you think they'll be kind of restrained to, like, the higher levels, or... Cause,
I hope
You know what,
not. I want this game to be hard.
well, yeah, but I just have an issue, like, when you just start out, oh, hey, look, I have a level 3, level 4 starter Pokemon. I just caught well, technically, since you do start 2 Pokemon, and you'll probably catch a third right away, you'll probably have 3 Pokemon right away, so it won't be terrible, but it's just, I can see the issue of, I only have 2 Pokemon, here comes 5, here comes 4, and you, like, granted, it's really good experience. However, it's going to be hard to keep your Pokemon alive in a 4v2.
Well, isn't that also a part of it? Don't you get 2 starters now?
Yeah, you're getting 2 starters. So that's something I kind of overshot there. But yeah, you're having 2 starters. So at least you'll kind of be able to do, like, the horde battles right away. And if you're like any normal, like, player, you kind of always, that first or second Pokemon you get, okay, he's a flying type, I want to have a good flying Pokemon, so when I get the TM, I can teach him to fly, and then voila, I can travel across the map. So
gotta find that Pidgey, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Pidgey.
Exactly. So then you'll have 3, and it's 3 to 3, 3v4, 3v5. So then, yeah, it's okay, but I worry that there's at times, like, even though we want a difficult game, it can be a little too difficult for the younger audience.
Yeah, I still want it to be hard. I don't like little kids. I really hope that this game is the hardest Pokemon game ever, in all honesty. But moving on, Zach, I want to get into this last topic here that I got. I want to talk about the dual type moves. Now, these are moves that apparently there are now ground flying moves, and this move is considered both types. What does this mean for the future of this? How is this going to affect everything that's going on with the current meta game of Pokemon? I know you're really into this. What do you got?
All right, with rebranding of some of these moves, let's start at the top. Rebranding Pokemon in and of itself. What happened was they released a new type, so now they have to go back and retype some of the older Pokemon. Your Jigglypuffs, your Clefairies, they even went so far as to make Marill a fairy type too.
Wait, really? Marill's a fairy?
Marill, yeah. I'm surprised.
Togepi, please, Togepi.
Of course it's going to be Togepi.
Yeah,
there's going to be ones that you know for sure, but then there's going to be really questionable ones like, Marill. I don't know where they're getting that from, but what I'm really hoping is they're going to make Snorlax a fairy type too. But,
anything that can learn Metronome.
Anything that can learn Metronome should get a fairy type. But back on the point, you're rebranding Pokemon, so it's only fair to rebrand some of the movesets too. So it's going to give you more versatility with how you handle Pokemon. So, moves that were non-effective before may only be, not very effective now. You got your normal attacks that hit ghost types. Well, you can't hit a ghost type with a normal attack, but what if it's normal fire? Now, instead of not doing anything, it may just be not very effective. So, it's going to change a lot of the way players play, myself included. I'm going to have to look into, certain moves. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, single type moves, but adding those multi-type moves is going to change a lot of how competitive players play, let alone, your recreational players. It's going to be nice to have a move with, you're going to be able to attack somebody with a move that does 2 super effective, damages. That's a ×4 multiplier, and that could just automatically kill people. It'll be crazy. It is going to be nice, though. A lot of the game is, matching types to certain moves, and if you're able to build a team that has Pokemon that have multiple types, you're able to, adjust to the advantage and take battles more easily. So I honestly, all in all, I think the rebranding is a good thing. Again, there's going to be a learning curve for us older players, but these younger kids are going to be growing up straight into this format. So I think these younger kids are going to have a huge advantage on us.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty impressive, guys. And now we're going to move on to the rating game. This is going to be where we rate the game 1 out of 10 individually to come up with a relatively basic idea of what this game is going to put out. This game is not out yet when we're recording this. We're doing a preview for you guys, so we're going to give you a rating on what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you whether or not I'm going to buy a DS for this game. I think I am. But I'm going to hand it over to Zach. I know he's a big Pokemon fan. He's got to be rating this game high. Zach, what do you got for us, buddy?
All right. Looking at this game objectively and not just as a Pokemon player, I mean, based off of what I'm seeing a lot of good graphics. I'm seeing a lot of innovation when it comes to the game. It's not just going to be another Pokemon game. It's going to be the Pokemon game to buy, especially, after Black and White 2, how great that game was. This game took it to a new level. I'm very impressed with the graphics. I like the new additions to the game. I'm a little washy on the Mega Evolutions, but I'm willing to give it a try for the sake of it's Pokemon. They haven't sailed me wrong so far. So all in all, I'm going to have to give this a high score. I'm going to go with 9.5 on this one.
All right, 9.5. Moving on to Jessica. What do we got? What are you giving this thing? What do you like about it?
Okay, well, I'm going to give it a 9.0, and this is why. I'm looking into this. I thought it was the perfect transition into the 3DS. It's the first, as you said, 3DS adventure in the 15-year-old RPG series. I like the how many new Pokemon that are being introduced. I like the in-depth customization, if I can speak well. It makes it easier to distinguish yourself from the other thousands of people online. The faster pace, within the first hour, you already have access to a pretty decent amount of fully capable Pokemon from, past and present generations. I think it's going to be a pretty good game. I might also invest in one and get, hooked on Pokemon.
All right, and moving on to Austin. We saved you for last, buddy, because I know you got a lot to say about this.
Yeah, there's a lot to look into this game. I'm definitely gonna go with the 9. It's easy. It's the only reason I don't say 10 is because for a game to be a perfect score for me, it would have to be something spectacular and out there. But it's Pokemon. It's gonna stay to a tried and true strategy, but they're adding a lot of nice new things in there. I think the addition of Fairy is really going to help balance out the competitive scene. I think that's something a lot of players were really looking forward to, but it's also going to throw a lot of complex situations in there, especially now with this dual move system. This is unheard of. What are you going to do when you're going against a certain Pokemon it's weak to Psychic, but it's strong against Grass, but you have a dual move that hits both? Is it going to be neutral damage, or is it going to be they're just going to have to introduce a balance system. So as long as they do the dual move system properly, I think the game's gonna see a nice little bump in its competitive scene, especially with a game that's not gonna be, oh, okay, you have 3 dragons, I have 4 dragons, I win just because I have more dragons than you. But I think the game's gonna be amazing, and it's still going to be that same Pokemon game that every kid is gonna love to play, and everybody who was a kid when the first Pokemon game came out, and now you're in your 20s, you're still you know what? I can still play this and go back to when I was younger and I didn't have to worry about things. It's a game that's never gonna get old for, I think, for us, the first real true gaming generation, because we started but I don't know, I probably end up having to buy a 3DS just to get this game, because it's a complete reboot of the series, and you know what? I don't see them screwing up a Pokemon game. It's almost impossible. So I hope. I'm giving it a 9, but expecting a 10.
All right, 9 expecting a 10. Guys, I got to admit, I'm kind of nervous. With these Mega Evolutions, I may have had a little freak out when I heard about them. It's I don't know, with them, I feel like it's going to be whoever has the best Mega Evolved Pokemon is going to win the match. I'm super nervous about that. I do like a lot of it. I like the legendaries. I like the fairy type addition. I love the customizable avatars because I've always wanted to become a trainer. We've had these conversations in the cafeteria a lot. which 3 Pokemon would you have in real life? Well, now I could tell you which ones I have currently on my 3DS. Instead of the social features that don't really work, they're clunky, they're so difficult to trade Pokemon from DS to Game Boy SP through Wi-Fi connectivity, Game Shark nonsense that we've had to put up with in the past. I really hope that they take out that application that allows you to get any Pokemon you've ever heard and EV train it instantaneously. But I gotta give this game an 8.5 just because I'm sketchy on some of the topics. Other than that, though, 3D environments with dual-type moves, super Pokemon training. I gotta wait on the story arc because I was always in it for the story arc as a kid. I gotta see if the story arc evolves with the generation gap slowly coming up. Are they going to keep it for all ages? Are they going to veer off and go more towards a child? But other than that, I got to give it the 8.5 just because I'm nervous about some of the topics.
I could say, yeah, that's a fair assessment because you're going more with the issues that you could see arise from such new concepts. But in, like, a lot of us here, we do want more difficult games, and Pokemon's not always the more difficult game. It's kind of more, it's linear, it's story-based. You go through, you beat the gym leaders, and then you go into the backstory, and then, like, the additional story that's towards the end of the game. So, no, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yes, and with those social features, one thing we did forget to mention was Pokemon has a cloud system now. They call it the Pokemon Bank. Zach, can you give us some more detail on this? Because I know you wanted to talk about it. We kind of went on a few tangents, lost our way a little bit, but bringing it back, a few. Yes, a few. But the Pokemon Bank, what is this, and how is this going to interact with future Pokemon games?
Look, basically what this thing's going to be, it's a Pokemon Cloud. I mean, it's free to try, but if you want to do anything with it, you're going to have to pay. It's like $5 a year. You can store up to 3,000 Pokemon on it and transfer between games. Basically, this is going to leave you the option for one console transfers, which is something Pokemon hasn't done. So I like the idea. It's going to give you a lot of options with moving your Pokemon between games, whether it's from older games to newer games or from one game cartridge to another. I think it's going to leave you a lot of options. I mean, it's something you got to pay for once a year, but it's $5, and I think any parent on the planet is going to do that for their kid, and I know us older guys are going to be able to afford that. So I think it's a good system. I think it's a good setup, and I like what the possibilities have for it.
Yeah, me too, brother. And with that in mind, I think we're going to wrap this up for tonight. This is our first episode ever. I'm going to go through here, and this is the portion of the show where we're going to shamelessly plug ourselves. You guys can find us at the FGN Network, that's Future Gaming Network, at www.futuregamingnetwork.com. You can follow us all on Twitter at FGN Podcast. We've got Austin at Twitter handle AustinFGP. We've got Jessica Danae Miller at Jess Danae Miller. We've got yours truly at Joshua Clement 17, and we've got Zach Captain Swishy Pants Holbrook at at XX Mr. Tank X.
I hate the X's already. Change it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a new.
Okay, good. Ooh. I didn't know we were playing Call of Duty here.
Also, if you didn't already know, you can find our podcast at www.futuregamingpodcast.podomatic.com. You can also find us on iTunes, hopefully relatively shortly. But with that in mind, I'm Josh. These are my guys. Have a nice night.
Peace out.
Peace.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my